What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond the point of excited to go ahead and bring you guys this video. Mark Rubin hopped on a little bit of a podcast and just flamed the heck out of Call of Duty and Activision. Now, he didn't intentionally say, oh, well, Call of Duty this and Activision that, but you could tell 1010% that this man was sneaking some shots in there to Call of Duty. And the things that he said were just absolutely fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and dive deep into the debrief. I listened to the whole thing. Not really that interesting. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really feel like a lot of the stuff they're producing here is just filler, try to get word of mouth to spread again. You know, like the trailer, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this is coming from someone who loves Xdefiant. I'm extremely excited to play Xdefiant. I am pumped for this game, but that trailer was really bad. It was a really poorly put together trailer. And same thing with the debrief here. It's kind of just, it just seems like filler to try to get people excited for Xdefiant again. But like I said, it was a segment with Mark Rubin that just absolutely exploded everything. And like I said, I'm just happy to discuss all of this stuff with you guys. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this and you want to stay up to date with Xdefiant as more updates come live, and same thing with Call of Duty, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And if you guys want to see me stream some Xdefiant live and in action on this channel, I will be over on Twitch. Make sure you guys, check that out, because again, I was streaming on Kick for a little while now, but we're going to move from that platform back over to Twitch again to see how it goes. So if you guys are interested, I know a lot of you guys prefer, watching streams on Twitch over Kick. We're going to be hitting that up on Monday and on Tuesday when Xdefiant goes live. So if you guys want to watch my impressions live and in action, tune in. That stream goes live between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, and you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rubin discussed a handful of outstanding things, but I'm going to mention them all. I just want to dive deep into the most important factor, and that is the skill-based matchmaking within Xdefiant. Now, again, we have discussed this time and time again, but Mark Rubin dropped the frickin' ball on just one of the hottest topics that the community has been waiting to hear about for the longest time now, and that is EOMM. Also, before we dive deep into that, I do want to, say this as well. I had to mention this because people tell me all the time that I'm crazy. Oh, JB, there was no skill-based matchmaking back in the day. You're crazy. You don't know anything about skill-based matchmaking. You don't know anything about COD. I've been roasted so many times for saying that there was skill-based matchmaking back in the day, but it was just toned down. It's always been matchmaking. And Mark Rubin has openly come out, and he said even back in, like back in the prime days, the OG days, the matchmaking was more toned back. It was a much more less strict version of skill-based matchmaking. So yes, it was in Call of Duty, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why this is such a hard thing to grasp. Skill-based matchmaking has massively evolved, but it doesn't mean it wasn't present back in the day. There's always been brackets. There's always been, levels of players that are separated. Not as strict as it is now, but has always been like that since the beginning of time. So yes, games have always had skill-based matchmaking, but Mark Rubin, like I said, he went even further and said that basically it has evolved from skill-based matchmaking into EOMM. Now, not what a lot of you guys are thinking of. A lot of people think of when they think of EOMM, they think, oh, my shots are getting curved, my bullets are missing, I'm getting nerfed mid-game. None of that stuff. I'm not talking about, those conspiracy theories. I'm talking about the real deal of what EOMM is about. Manipulating your matches to make you want to play longer. Not manipulating your gameplay, but it's dictating how you're doing, how well you're performing, and it's going to go ahead and throw you matches to kind of predict what the future is, your future outcomes. If it wants you to lose a game, it's going to try its hardest to match you with people to lose the game. It wants you to win a game, it's going to try its hardest to match you with people to win a game. And it wants to do this to keep you addicted to the cycle, compared to how it was back in the day with basic skill-based matchmaking, where all it did was care about latency, your region, and I guess nowadays it would care about input, what you're playing on. But regardless, it cared about connection, and that's basically it. It threw you into a mix of players. Of course, the matchmaking was there, and it didn't want you to verse the absolute bodiest of bot players. They've always been in this game. It's a difference between casuals and bots. Even back in OG COD, in order to get bots, you had to reverse boost. People did it all the time. People two-boxed since the beginning of time. This isn't anything new. People reverse boost their stats since the beginning of time. Nothing new. They've always reversed boost into those bots, but like I said, at the end of the day, the variety was still there within the matchmaking compared to nowadays. It just feels like you're literally being forced forced into an experience that you have no control over. Whereas back in the day, all the casuals or sweaty players, we just all got thrown into the mix, and whatever you got is what you got. That is what the players want. And it just feels amazing to hear this man acknowledge it. And it's also hilarious to hear him call out Call of Duty. Again, not really specifically saying COD, but you know dang well, who else is Mark Rubin talking about? Who else is Mark Rubin talking about? Is he talking about Rainbow Six? Huh? Is he talking about Battlefield? Is he talking about Apex or Fortnite? No. This man is talking about Call of Duty with all the EOMM talk that's been going around. And again, I'm happy that he further clarified on what EOMM is and what it's doing to the Call of Duty experience. Because again, I feel like people take the conspiracy theories and don't get me wrong, I love conspiracy theories. I love putting my tinfoil hat on and talking about things that could be potentially going on. Don't get me wrong. But being very realistic, what EOMM does is it manipulates the matches in a way to make you addicted to the cycle. Not manipulating you, but manipulating what matches you get put into. And I'm very happy he went into detail on that because I think that's very important to talk about. But again, he also discussed a little bit more about community feedback and how it played a big role within Xdefiant. And again, it's just phenomenal, and it just puts Call of Duty in their place. Of course, Sledgehammer has been doing a fantastic job with Modern Warfare 3 community feedback. But Xdefiant, if I'm going to be honest here, was doing it first when it came to this overall cycle. And it's true. You know, what they say is absolute facts. And Mark Rubin made a very, very fantastic point at saying they want to be open with the community. That's how you build a better bond with your fan base, is when you're open with them. It's like, oh, well, these things aren't doing well, but here's proof to why it's not doing well. We don't get that with Call of Duty. We don't get any of that type of stuff. And Mark Rubin made it very clear that he wants to do everything in his power to make sure the game is amazing for all of us. Everybody who has a complaint in the community will be heard. But he said very specifically, because the question was, how do you determine what's good feedback and what's bad feedback, and how do you cipher through all this stuff to make it work for the game? And it's just as basic as it is. They take all the feedback. If it works and they have stats that say it works, they'll keep it. And if the stats behind the scenes don't work, they won't keep it. But again, he says very clearly that you have to be open with these things and show the community the proof on why it won't work, why it's not helping the game, and give it reasons for it, so we can understand why we can't have a certain thing that we want. Okay? Call of Duty doesn't do that. We claim we want something different, and they claim that we're stupid and we have no clue what we're talking about, and they have some amazing stats behind the scenes claiming that, we're completely wrong here. But when have we ever seen the stats? Never. They never showcase us the stat. They never show us anything. We are left in the dark 24/7 when it comes to Call of Duty. Whereas with Xdefiant is one of the main reasons why I've been hyping up this game. And everybody's sitting here complaining, oh my God, it's getting postponed again. And this game's going to be garbage because they can't get it out the door. I've been sitting here supporting it. I have never, you guys can go back on my channel. I have been faithfully supporting this game for the longest time because of this exact reason. The openness they have with their community. Everything, and I mean everything that goes wrong with this game, even down to why they postponed it, they told us why. They let us know the reasons. We were never, ever, ever, ever left in the dark. Even when they went, completely silent for a little amount of time, working on the servers and, the party system, we still knew what they were working on. We knew why they were going silent. We knew where they went. With COD, we don't. Things just happen, and we have to guess, and we have to speculate, and again, put on our tinfoil hats so we can, kind of figure out what the heck is going on here with COD, whereas for Xdefiant, we don't got to do that. They tell us what's going on, and they give us reasons for what's going on, and they'll give us proof for what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I just wanted to cover the most important facts in the debrief that, they showcased. Everything else was just kind of, tips for improving at the game. Pretty, basic tips, and, how they laid out some of the maps, and how, they're planning future content, which is interesting because, again, they're going to be dabbling in a lot of different things. Content is endless because we're literally in the Ubisoft universe. I know people hate, that, well, Ubisoft. I always say Ubisoft. Everybody says Ubisoft. My bad. I always mispronounce that. But I know people hate them so much. But they have so many IPs to dive deep into. So many maps, characters, everything. With amazing gameplay backing it up, content can go on for years. They even said that they're already done with year 1 content. They're working on year 2. And that's amazing, because if the community ever is salty with the fact that they don't like something with year 1, they could just start stuffing in more content and work on, like, they have so much time now. They literally have so much time. So this is great. I love that they were able to have the time to put this game together, that they actually are prepped, content is prepped, and, you know, all the things that Mark Rubin is saying in this blog post here, not blog post, sorry, the interview was just phenomenal. Exactly what the community needed to hear. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And if you guys want to check out any of my live streams, like I said, I'll be over on Twitch on Monday. So as always, if you guys want to check that out, I have a link to that down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.